Although Maine's metrics on the coronavirus are still very favorable compared to the rest of the U.S., officials are concerned the spike could signal the beginning of exponential growth. The director of the Maine Center for Disease Control, Dr. Nirav Shah, says increases are occurring even in rural areas that previously had low numbers.
What is happening in Maine right now is sustained increasing levels of transmission in communities across our state.
Though Maine is contending with several outbreaks, Shaw says new cases are primarily being driven through small household gatherings. Maine's Governor Janet Mills is urging people to wear masks and stay 6 feet apart during both public and private gatherings. For NPR News, I'm Patty White in Lewiston, Maine.
Ohio's governor is calling for a statewide effort to stem the spread of coronavirus after 83 of the state's 88 counties experienced high rates of infection. The reshaping of daily life due to coronavirus is supercharging profits for big tech. NPR's Bobby Allen says the latest earnings reports show just how much those companies are benefiting from the pandemic.
Company CEOs like calling good news a tailwind. Well, for the tech industry, people computing more and leaving their homes less has been like a tornado-strength gust. People are shopping more online, Googling more, on Facebook more often, and needing more devices. For Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Apple, that translated into a combined net profit of $38 billion. Amazon alone reported a 200% rise in profits. And then there is this statistic. In just the past year, the companies have seen their combined market value nearly double from last year. This all comes, of course, as major swaths of the economy remain in a ditch, and as lawmakers and prosecutors ramp up the pressure of big tech. Bobby Allen, NPR News, San Francisco.
This is NPR News. As many as 2.6 million homes and businesses lost power across 7 states Thursday as Hurricane Zeta swept through parts of the South. The storm is blamed for at least 7 deaths. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards says his state sustained catastrophic damage on Grand Isle and Jefferson Parish. In Mississippi, emergency officials say that Zeta hit the state's coastline harder than any other storm since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. In France, prosecutors have launched a terrorism investigation after a knife attack that left 3 people dead at a church in Nice. Meanwhile, President Emmanuel Macron is calling for unity. Rebecca Rossman has more.
French President Emmanuel Macron says he's deploying several thousand troops across France to protect the country's places of worship. The attack, which killed 3 people, took place at the Basilica of Notre Dame, located in the center of Nice. The assailant, a 21-year-old Tunisian national, was wounded by police and is now in hospital. The country's anti-terrorism unit has taken over the case, and France's terrorism alert has been brought to its highest level. This is the 3rd attack in France in the last 2 months attributed to violent Islamist extremists. For NPR News, I'm Rebecca Rossman in Paris.
Walmart says it's removed firearms and ammunition from its displays in U.S. stores, citing civil unrest in some areas. The nation's largest retailer says the items are still for sale. Walmart sells weapons in about half of its 4,700 stores. I'm Shay Stevens. This is NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include the National Endowment for the Arts, the federal agency that supports the arts and creativity in communities across the nation. More information is available at arts.gov. And the listeners who support this NPR station.
I'm Carol Off.
Good evening. I'm Chris Howden. This is As It Happens.
An attacker kills 3 people in Nice, France, less than 2 weeks after a Paris schoolteacher was killed in a similar attack. An ally of President Macron tells us what the country needs now is de-escalation.
Tragedy compounded. An Ontario man who lost his wife and daughter in the Ukraine International Airlines crash in Iran says he's being targeted with threatening messages after he criticized Iran's response.
Pump for Trump. A retired teacher in Ohio says she is confident the U.S. president will be reelected and fearful that if he isn't, her son could lose his job in the oil industry.
Keeping it real. The restaurateur who brought authentic Chinese food to America has died. Ruth Reichel remembers her friend Cecilia Chang.
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. A Calgary car wash is offering a shine and a scare as a safe,
soapy alternative to Halloween haunted houses this year.
And they make it carefully, but not very gingerly. Canada Dry Ginger Ale reaches a settlement with a BC man who filed a class action lawsuit because he was furious that it contains only trace amounts of useless ginger. As it happens, the Thursday edition, radio that's taken care of busyness.